This semester I have served as the Oklahoma Funding Accelerator team lead. OFA is a little bit different than the other presentations you'll see tonight. With OFA, each consultant has a one-on-one relationship with a local entrepreneur with CCEW's core mission in mind to develop and retain economic wealth in this state. I also want to thank our wonderful clients this semester, JobPact, Life Outside the Box, NextThought, and VERRB. Throughout this semester, the team has endured seemingly hundreds of meetings, late-night working sessions, and lots of hard work. I'm proud of each one of them and the progress they've made on their engagement and the high-impact recommendations that they have made for their client. Also, because of this team, my personal experience with this program has been increased as well. Because of them, I now know a cat-themed pun for every day of the week. And new interns, let me tell you, on Feline Fridays, bi-weeklies get crazy. It's very tough. They only are beaten by Meow Mondays, let me tell you. But in all seriousness, I'm very proud of each one of these associates and the work that they've done for their client. Now join with me in welcoming on stage the OFA 2015 fall team. Let's go.
Good evening. My name is Josh Franzen. I'm a senior energy management and finance major from Waco, Texas. This semester, my client is JobPact.
My name is Eli Crawford. I'm a sophomore management information systems and entrepreneurship major from Crawford, Iowa.
My name is Maya Sykes. I'm a senior international business and marketing major from Flower Texas, and this semester my client is VERRB.
My name is Bailey Wilton. I'm a junior economics and finance major from Claremore, Oklahoma, and this semester my client is NextThought.
We will begin with JobPact. JobPact is a local startup based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma that pairs job seekers to employers, not just based off of candidates' past experience in their resume, like Monster.com or LinkedIn, but more so on culture, character, and compensation. It is a holistic matching process because the goal is to connect people to work that really makes them come alive. This semester, I have focused my research on what it would look like for JobPact to expand their business by going through colleges and universities' career services. During the first phase of my research, I discovered that the online component of universities and colleges' career services are powered by third-party companies, of which there are three major competitors: GradLeaders, Handshake, and Simplicity. Now, each of these companies has a wide-ranging platform. For example, GradLeaders is being used in over 600 universities across the US, including OU and OSU's career services. My initial assumption, therefore, was that a partnership with one of these companies would greatly expand JobPact's business. Although this is true, my research showed me that this is not a viable option for JobPact at the moment, as these three companies seek to partner with other companies that already have a proven revenue stream developed at the career services level and therefore add value back to them. So, how can JobPact develop a revenue stream at the career services level and prove that they add value? JobPact should use a single university, such as OU, as a test case for 2 years and hone in on a specific college within the university to drive utilization. Once that testing period is over and after they have proven their value, they can then attend conferences and expos where they can showcase their services, and this will also give them leverage in approaching companies like Handshake and GradLeaders in seeking a partnership. For the purpose of this final presentation, I will delve further into my second recommendation. By going through career services, JobPact can greatly increase its value offering. Research showed me that the average career services operating budget is $89,000 a year, 15% of which is allocated to software that offers services to students such as resume optimization, job searching, and so forth. Now, there are just over 3,000 universities, four-year institutions here in the United States. What that means is that between all of these colleges and universities, approximately $35 million is allocated to software services. So if JobPact can tap into just 15% of that market and sell its services for $1,500 per year, that is a potential revenue of $600,000. Although that is not a huge amount of money, by following this model and going through career services, JobPact can exponentially increase its user base to up to 1 million users. This will massively increase their value proposition because ultimately, JobPact's major source of revenue will not necessarily come from career services, but rather from employers. So the larger the candidate pool within JobPact, the more enticing its services will be to recruiting employers, and therefore the more willing employers will be to pay for JobPact. So how can JobPact get itself into this position? First, JobPact should integrate with the online component of career services at the market cost. In the case of OU, they would be integrated with HireSooner.com and should charge $500 for the integration cost, because a number of add-on services that OU currently utilizes charge no more than $1,000 per year. JobPact will then be presented as a link on the services page of HireSooner.com, similar to other add-on services like CareerShift, Optimal Resume, Optimal Interview, and so forth. Finally, JobPact should target a specific college within the university to drive utilization. In the case of OU, a good option would be Price College of Business, as 40% of HireSooner's current user base is comprised of business students. In addition, there are a number of existing channels within Price that could really drive utilization of JobPact amongst its students. So moving forward, JobPact should begin the integration process by the start of the spring semester and aim to be fully integrated and in use by the fall of 2016. Using their performance measures, they can then begin to track their effectiveness versus the current job posting board, and by scaling down the results. Those performance measures will include the number of users, the number of jobs posted, and most importantly, the hiring rate from the matches that are created. The key deliverables that I will be handing over to JobPact will include the survey and interview results showing students' desire for a culture matching service, the general business model of career services, and information on conferences and expos that JobPact can attend to showcase their services and ultimately expand their business. Thank you for listening. It's been an honor working with JobPact this semester. Up next, we have Holly Crawford with Life Out of the Box.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks, Josh. There we go. Nice working. Life Out of the Box was born when two young professionals from Southern California sold everything they had, moved to Nicaragua, and asked the question, how can we change the world? They were soon faced with underemployed and unemployed artisans and children without access to basic school supplies, and so their answer became clear. They began partnering with these artisans, selling their products online and in the United States. They sent the products back to the profits, back to the countries where these artisans lived and worked to buy school supplies for the children in need. Life Out of the Box has been steadily growing since 2012, and this semester, together we tackled three big questions. The first question was what model of expansion they should begin to use. Based on my research, I determined that Life Out of the Box should develop an ambassador plan. My next big question was what should the structure of this ambassador plan be? And I determined that ambassadors should focus on person-to-person sales and on campus and online marketing. And finally, I asked the question, how can we make the most of this ambassador plan and increase retention rates? And with that, I determined that developing a video training series, as well as developing a sales target and determining incentives for ambassadors to go above that sales target, would improve ambassador success. That's where I'll focus the rest of my presentation this evening. Based on my research, I determined that the average Life Out of the Box ambassador can sell $1,300 in products every year. This is a number that I reached by looking at Stella & Dot sales. Stella & Dot is a jewelry company with a similar ambassador model to Life Out of the Box. I took Stella & Dot's average number of sales per year times Life Out of the Box's average sales amount per year to reach that $1,300. As you can see on the screen, this has a tremendous impact not only on Life Out of the Box's average, their total sales per year, but also on the number of artisans they can employ each year and on the number of school supplies that they can provide for children in need, as it increases by almost $10,000. While many of the ambassadors will be motivated by the knowledge of the good that they're doing in the world, I also recommended that Life Out of the Box focus on incentivizing these ambassadors to go above and beyond that. This rewards pyramid is based on a 10% sales commission. The rewards are earned as ambassadors reach that level of sales throughout the year, and no sales would roll over to the next year. For every dollar in sales that an ambassador earns up to $800, they will earn 10% of that back in Life Out of the Box bracelets. Once they reach that $1,300 level, they will earn an additional $50 in Life Out of the Box products. If they hit that $2,500 level, they will earn the equivalent of $125 in either cash or prizes. And at $5,000, that number increases to an additional $250. If an ambassador reaches the $15,000 sales mark in a year, they will earn a fully funded trip to give school supplies with the founders of Life Out of the Box to children around the world. This semester, I presented Life Out of the Box with the analysis of the different models of expansions that we looked at, the defined role of each ambassador, and the rewards, incentives that I just presented, as well as the video training program. As they move forward, Life Out of the Box should continue to focus on the ambassadors that they have, developing them further, and implementing these rewards and this video training before eventually revamping their application process and reopening it for fall 2016. My work with Life Out of the Box this semester has been so much fun, and it has also been so rewarding as I've been able to see just a taste of the work that I've done in improving the lives of children and artisans around the world. Thank you so much for listening, and now I will share the floor with Maya, and she will present her work with VERRB.
Thank you, Holly. This semester, my client is VERRB. VERRB is a smartphone application located in Oklahoma City that has the goal to connect local businesses, artisans, and musicians with the people of the metro area who are looking for something fun, unique, and exciting to do. Now, the reason the application is called VERRB is because it is organized by call to action verbs. So, for example, a rock climbing company can place themselves underneath the dare category, or a coffee shop can place themselves underneath the savor category. I'm happy and excited to announce that VERRB actually launched this month. You can go and download the application on the Apple App Store or the Android market. So this semester, I was tasked by helping VERRB answer 3 big questions, and those are as follows. How can we get people most excited to try out the application? What is the best pricing model for VERRB to utilize? And lastly, how can we facilitate VERRB's launch and get them out there to market? After conducting market research with over 200 participants, I was able to answer those questions. VERRB should change up the user interface to make it more user-friendly and organized. VERRB should have a 3-tiered pricing model that includes pay per event, a monthly subscription, and a premium subscription in order to cater to a wide range of businesses. And lastly, because college students are one of VERRB's target markets, utilizing college campuses is a great, efficient way to get the company out there to market. For the purpose of this presentation, I will be focusing on that first bucket. So, even though VERRB had a highly anticipated launch, there are some things that VERRB can do to change the application and make it more user-friendly. As a minimum standard, VERRB should increase the simplicity of the application by increasing its level of organization. What would that look like? I conducted a focus group that had about 8 participants, and in that focus group, they mentioned that they wanted a search function across the application. Also, currently the app does have filter options, but you have to go within categories to filter. So you can go within the dare category and only filter within there, or you can go within the savor category and only filter within there, and so on and so forth. VERRB should have an opt-in, opt-out filter option that goes through the whole entire database in order to help with customization, personalization, and just overall organization. Also, if you download the application, it prompts you and asks you if you would share your location with VERRB. But the application does not have a locational component. This is highly important. Having the distance feature will let someone know that cool, unique restaurant they want to try is right around the corner, all the way across town. In the focus group, design aspects were also brought to light. People didn't really like the home screen. They thought it was a tad messy and the fonts were a little bit confusing. Also, some of the VERRB categories weren't fully intuitive. For example, Yoni, who was an international business major, said that he didn't understand the attend verb. Isn't he attending all the things that he goes to? Now, I took the data and insights from the focus groups and interviews, and I did an A/B test and sent that out to about 50 respondents. I showed them the original home screen and the new home screen with the changes of the filtering, the searching, and the distance function, and changed up the fonts a little bit. From that survey, 82% said that they preferred the new home screen. Then, 83% said that if the new home screen and interface changes were utilized, they would be more likely to try out the application. So combining 82% times 83%, I deduced that if VERRB implement the changes that I'm recommending, it will have a 68% positive impact rate on VERRB's user base. Moving forward, VERRB should focus on innovating and marketing in order to increase its user base. I have given VERRB a couple of key deliverables to help them with this feat, and those are as follows. Analysts of all my market research, a marketing campaign, an expansion plan, and a pricing model. They can then further use that for their next steps, which are doing target marketing, changing up the application to make it more interactive and engaging, and then lastly, enacting a mid-range growth marketing plan, which I've also provided them with. Thank you so very much for listening. I had a great time working with VERRB this semester. Now, up next is Bailey to talk about NextThought.
This semester, I've had the pleasure of working with NextThought, a connected e-learning company that places a huge focus on providing opportunities for learner collaboration and engagement. Currently, NextThought is working primarily with their university clients, creating courses for those university students. However, they've also been working with a growing number of corporate clients who are able to take the courses NextThought creates for them and resell them in order to in turn make a profit. NextThought's wanting to grow this corporate segment, as well as to expand their product offerings by introducing a new kind of interactive simulation. So to help facilitate this growth, this semester I've answered 3 big questions for NextThought. First, what kinds of simulations should they introduce? Second, how should they develop them? And then finally, how should NextThought integrate these simulations into their current offering? From this, I've come up with 3 key recommendations. First, NextThought should introduce basic gamification and branching scenarios. They should develop them using one of 3 authoring tools, and they should focus on their corporate segment while charging a premium price that reflects the value that these simulations add. It's this last recommendation and its impacts that I'll be focusing on for the remainder of this presentation. But first, a bit of context around the simulations I'm recommending. Basic gamification would allow NextThought to add things like points, scores, leveling up, and progress bars to their courses, while branching scenarios would place a user in a choose-your-own-adventure type situation that would allow them to get real-world experience. Both of these simulations were chosen because of the value that they would add for NextThought's customers and the fact that this added value will make customers willing to pay more for these simulations. This willingness to pay is demonstrated in 3 things. First, simulations are more effective. Studies show that learners perform 14% better and retain 9% more information when using simulations. Second, customers can generate higher revenue as they're able to resell these courses for a higher price. For example, one company I spoke with revealed that although normally they don't charge anything for courses, when a course has simulations, they're able to charge $100 per learner. And despite this added cost, these courses are their most popular. Finally, there is current and growing demand for these simulations. This is an over $6 billion industry growing at 23% annually. And in fact, NextThought's customers have already been asking for these simulations. So based on this demonstrated demand and willingness to pay, NextThought will be able to charge a premium price for this product. Now, because NextThought's customers have already begun to ask about these simulations, NextThought should first focus on the customers that have already expressed interest. And based on that, aim to create at least 8 courses with simulations in the first year. Now, if they do this, as well as increase their upfront fee by $4,000 to cover development costs, and their royalty fee by 5% to represent the added value, NextThought will be able to add an additional $185,000 worth of profit in just the first 5 years. And this is based on some conservative estimates. First, that NextThought continues to only create 8 courses with simulations per year, that each course contains 5 simulations, and that each simulation requires 32 hours to develop. Now, this model is also based on the assumption that NextThought isn't growing or adding any additional customers as a result of this new premium product, an assumption that's fairly unrealistic and, if NextThought is able to achieve, will grow NextThought's profit even further. Now, to help facilitate this growth, I've equipped NextThought with 3 key deliverables. First, an analysis of 11 different simulation options that NextThought can use in the future if they wish to expand their simulation offerings. Second, a recommendation for 3 authoring tools that best fit NextThought's needs. And third, an adjustable pricing model that created the financial projections that you just saw. Next, NextThought will need to select and purchase an authoring tool, use it to develop a showcase of simulation capabilities, and finally, begin to market and sell these simulations to their corporate clients. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I know I've really enjoyed working both with my client and my amazing team. And I have to say that I think I speak for all of us when I say that it has been incredible to be on the forefront of one of CCEW's core missions, to add to the economic wealth and well-being of the state of Oklahoma. Again, thank you all for coming out tonight, and I'll now open up the floor for any questions you might have for the team.